Good morning. Welcome to another episode focusing on nuclear warfare. On the 22nd of this month, the 191 countries of the world that have signed on to the Non-Proliferation Treaty that's been in effect now for 11 5-year review cycles agreed that it's still the most important thing going, and they all voted to support it. And then 5 of the 9 nuclear armed nations at least sat down and talked to each other, but there have been no big changes over what was before. So that'll be the third of 11 5-year review cycles where there's been really no change. Meanwhile, we've got our little fiasco going with Iran because we want to keep Netanyahu happy, and he wants to basically kill them all, let God sort them out in the Middle East. And so our posture with regard to Iran has made a joke out of our posture with regard to nuclear weapons. Yeah, and so the Iranians are saying that the nuclear armed states are going after non-nuclear states. It's true, they are. Yeah, we're not saying a word about Israel's nuclear capability. We're just kind of doing that old nothing to see here routine, and nobody's fooled by it. So we're losing credibility just hugely. Add to that, the Japanese apparently are building up significantly, and the right wing inside the Japanese government is pushing hard to have remilitarization. Of course, it was the right wing that gave us World War II in the Pacific, Pearl Harbor. And as a result, the Chinese party mouthpiece, the People's Daily, which I try to stay abreast of, has just published an article at the close of the Non-Proliferation Treaty Review saying that Japan is much worse than Iran. They've got way more plutonium. They've been remilitarizing. And the Chinese say the Japanese are only, quote, a screwdriver away from having nuclear weapons. So the situation, I would say, truthfully, has gotten worse with regard to the Non-Proliferation Treaty. We've gone backwards. And the lack of leadership by the United States government is just truly awful. So what do we do over the next 5 years, assuming some of us haven't checked out by then? I think the first thing is that with the advent of AI, which is going to have its whole set of problems, to go along with it. But one of the good things is you can kind of pick the things that you want to follow. I'd encourage you to try to follow what's going on with the nuclear warfare and rearmament situation to at least become part of an informed constituency, since we have so many nuclear weapons here in Montana. I mean, we're kind of like the Ukraine for the U.S. We got a lot of them. Yeah, I think that's one thing that you could do, what we could all do. But it's going to be a slow process. I noticed that Peter Thiel, who has been advancing AI and says that if you're against artificial intelligence, you're the Antichrist, which is really stupid, is planning to move to Argentina. And one of the reasons that's being voiced to justify that move, besides trying to get away from California's pending tax on billionaires, is that he wants to be in the southern hemisphere in case there's a nuclear exchange in the northern hemisphere. And that's really encouraging when you think about it. But he's got the dough. He's not stupid. And of course, here in Montana, we have an exact opposite situation. We're living on the bullseye, the sponge for each one of our 150 missile silos, not to mention the launch control centers. 2 warheads are expected to come in because it's been designed that way to have our 150 missiles attract 2 warheads to kind of cause any threat to use up their nuclear capability before they come after our really valuable targets. Right now, one of which is not Montana, right? We definitely are the nuclear equivalent of cannon fodder. So I'm not sure what to do next except to inform you that things aren't getting better. They're getting worse, in my view. I mean, there's no question about it. And we have to start paying really close attention to some of the games that are being played just to get our money, because we don't have a lot of resources. And we have to really be careful about how we use our resources to protect our interests, protect ourselves. Personally, I do feel that we should try to get a backbone for the Golden Dome, have the golden zones, 6 golden zones on the coast and in Chicago, and then have the backbone out here in Montana and get rid of our missiles. That might mean that we are even more attractive target because we have the backbone. They call it the AI backbone for a golden zone. But then if we do have a lucrative target that's hardened, we would probably have some defense capability with that, which we don't have right now. We're just laying wide open for a nuclear attack in Montana. I think in my closing years, I'd be really happy just to see those missiles gone from Montana. I seriously think we need to get rid of them. I don't care how many jobs are associated with it. We need to get rid of them because the situation is really deteriorating. I wish I had something more to say, but I don't. We'll just try to stay abreast as these things start to develop. Thanks.